Am I the a-hole for going to my birthday dinner without my husband when he wasn't ready on time? It was my 40th birthday a few days ago and we had a reservation for a table at a nice restaurant for 7 p.m. It takes about 20 minutes to drive to the restaurant, so I planned to leave the house at 6:30 p.m. to build in time for traffic and picking up my father. My husband, 43 male, had decided to do a bit of work on his car about half an hour before we needed to leave. At 6:30, when the kids and I were waiting by the door, he was still doing it. He hadn't changed and hadn't showered. I told him to quickly get ready, but it got to 6:50 and he still wasn't ready yet, so I decided to just leave without him. He has a habit of always running late when we go out and he is always the last one to be ready. Normally I can tolerate it since it only sets things back by 10 minutes at the most, but my birthday dinner was important to me and I had been looking forward to it for weeks. Making us wait for 20 minutes was taking the mick, so I yelled out that we were leaving and left, because I didn't want to lose the table, since we would have arrived about 7:20. I called the restaurant to let them know we would be late and we luckily still had our table, but my husband didn't show up at the restaurant and when we got home he was mad at me. I told him that I was tired of him not respecting my time and always making people wait for him, and that he could have made his own way to the restaurant. My father agreed with my decision to leave without him, but my kids were a little upset that he wasn't there to have dinner with us. So, am I the a-hole?
Not the a-hole. You were already late when you left. If you waited any longer, you wouldn't have a table and thus no birthday party. When you got home, you should have torn him a new one for deliberately trying to sabotage your birthday party. Put him on the defensive, where he should be, for his behavior. Really though, when your husband decided to do some work on his car, you should have said, "No, you're not doing that. You're going upstairs and getting ready to leave with us." This was a totally predictable problem. In general, you should stop tolerating his lateness. When you do that, it gets worse, not better.
It's not on her to mother him, though. She showed she was not tolerating by leaving. He should have the awareness and discipline to not start that project 30 minutes before they had to leave.
Agreed. It's not her job to keep track of her husband. She already coordinated everything for the family, including her dad and the kids. All her husband had to do was show up on time. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed your dinner, OP. Make this a pattern with your husband and the problem will resolve itself. Either he'll figure out how to be on time or you'll no longer need to be stressed out about it.
I've brought it up multiple times before, but nothing has changed. I do admit that I can be a pushover when it comes to waiting for him, but I'm sick of having to put other things on hold in order to check if he is ready and being late to family plans. He was late for my mother's funeral last year, and after this birthday incident I've decided not to give him any more leeway and start standing up for myself.
My husband had decided to do a bit of work on his car about half an hour before we needed to leave. Classic. Why help get the kids ready when you can putter outside? I told him that I was tired of him not respecting my time and always making people wait for him, and that he could have made his own way to the restaurant. If he wanted to, he would have. The kids shouldn't be raised in a world where dad is allowed to ruin your birthday plans because he decided to work on his car. Not the a-hole.
The kids are 13 and 11, so they can get ready by themselves, although the youngest needs help with tying his shoelaces. However, I have to make sure the alarm is on, the doors are locked, the dog is fed and shut in his room, and get ready myself.
Not the a-hole. It was rude towards you, and rude towards the restaurant. Many places will only hold a table at most 15 minutes, so even if you hadn't actually told him that you wanted to set off at 6:30, logic should have told him that a 20-minute journey, picking up another guest, and accounting for delays with traffic or finding a parking spot, would require that sort of time. I do hope that, when you say the kids were upset, they were upset with their father for not being ready following you to the restaurant and not with you for not waiting.
Yes, the kids were upset because my husband wasn't ready and because I was stressing. They thought he didn't want to spend any time with us. They have personally been let down by him when it comes to things like him picking them up from a friend's house.
Please tell him that an internet stranger called him an inconsiderate dick. Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit for a family again because they took advantage of me last time? I, 16 female, am a babysitter and I babysat for a family I have never babysat for before. They have a baby that's only a couple months old, a 4-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl, and are paying me $12 per hour. As you can imagine, they are all on the smaller side and require lots of attention. When the parents were about to leave, their friends came over and dropped off their 4-year-old. I am not getting paid extra, and this was not communicated with me ahead of time. The parents brought her to me and said that she goes to bed at the same time as the others and gave me a quick smile before leaving. I babysat the kids for 6 hours. I was wondering if I should bring it up to the parents or should I just let it go since it's only one extra kid? It just kinda seems unfair that there was no communication to me about it, and I'm supposed to feed this extra kid, get her ready for bed, keep her entertained and put her to sleep. In the end, I decided to do nothing about it and told myself that it wasn't that big of a deal. My parents and friends have since said that I was being taken advantage of. Yesterday, the mother texted me asking if I would babysit for her kids again while she went out. I declined, telling her that I didn't feel comfortable babysitting with her again because she didn't communicate with me last time and I felt blindsided. She snapped back by telling me that I was very rude and it was in the past. She said I should have said something then and that it is my fault for not telling her how I felt. I feel really bad, but my parents told me that she is trying to guilt trip me since I'm only 16 and she thinks that she can. I haven't responded to her messages because I am unsure of if I am in the wrong. So am I the a-hole here?
Not the a-hole. $12 per hour is way too low of a price point. You should have been paid more, especially if you are caring for 3 kids. In addition to having to babysit for a 4th unexpected child. She's the A for expecting you to babysit another kid and not communicating with you about it, big no. Do not babysit for her. Do not let her guilt trip you. Do not tolerate her behavior. In the future, you shouldn't have to justify your reasoning as to why you can't babysit someone's children, e.g., her children in this case. I feel like you should give her the reason of being uncomfortable. Just tell her that you are unavailable. Block her number. I would also think about what prices you would charge for babysitting. I know that some people have a baseline price for one child and then an additional cost for multiple children, maybe a couple of dollars more added onto the baseline price per child. This is completely up to you. For example, maybe $12 per hour for one child and then maybe a couple of more dollars, $2-5, extra per child.
Not the a-hole. Yeah, they're trying to take advantage, and mom's attitude here just proves they'd do it again if given the chance. You should have said something. You just did. And hello hypocrisy for her not saying there'd be an extra kid for no extra money. Judge things by the situation, not by people's emotional response. The mom is trying to throw you off by acting like you're the bad guy. You aren't. It's your labor, so it's your choice.
Not the a-hole. Your parents are exactly right. They are trying to take advantage of you and counting on 16-year-old you not standing up to them. I have no doubt they'd try it again. The mother's comment that you are rude is ridiculous. She's trying to distract from the fact that SHE is the rude one in lying about the terms of your employment and then counting on her position of age-based power to get away with it. Good for you for turning her down and telling her why.
Not the a-hole. But also, it doesn't actually matter if you are or not. You don't owe them your services. You can decline for whatever reason you want, and you don't have to even give them a reason. It's clear they don't respect you, and they shouldn't be surprised at your hesitation to babysit for them again. Stick to your gut, say no, and move on.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.